Island and Georgia Pole are going to be open. So now Ghost has an easy and honestly gets the advantage of landing in Milta relatively early. God Squad, everyone who heads to that island is going there. But this is going to be the time where the hot drops are going to be occurring. There's yelling happening in the arena. You can hear it going on.
But here's the question,
maybe
though,
you can hear it.
With this, we know exactly where we have seen Ghost drop every single time, where Honeybadger drops every single time. Look at Nova. They are making a shift over in this general vicinity. We might actually see some hot drops come into play. These guys at the bottom of the leaderboard can really make a mess of these guys at the top of the leaderboard if we end up dropping.
Did Ghost make the mistake of not changing anything up, being the first place team?
They shifted off.
So it looks like Venerated and company are spread out. You have to wonder, are they nervous? They have to be. There is a bit of mind games occurring in the arena, everyone looking to see who is screaming. But for now, it looks like Ghost is not going to be hot dropped, at least right away. We'll see what happens with Nova. They have kind of come over and are putting pressure on that Milta area.
They're dropping just in the distance. That's going to force Honeybadgernation to make a little bit of a change-up. I'm looking for where they've decided to make their reposition to on the map, and they're just going down to Novo. That was one of their original homes that they were playing around earlier. So they're back in their little comfort area. We got to see where the next circle populates, because I think that that's going to be the deciding factor. And oh, Lord, it's in Georgia Pool.
So we have seen the first circle reveal itself. We are moving all the way north again. All the way west again. Slime Squad out of the top three currently. They are going to be in a position where they have an easy loot phase, and they're going to be all the way at home in South George. For the teams like Honeybadgernation in Novo, Ghost in Milta, long transition where they've had the most issues.
Honeybadgernation, you can see fast where we were just falling in with them. But also, we have to make sure we keep an eye on Team Gates, Slime Squad, Wildcard Gaming, Tempo Storm, and Optic, with Cloud9 just right back behind it. All of these guys are within touching distance of going to that Berlin. So you can see everybody's playing real passive. Nobody wants to make the first move. Everybody is separating out. Circles are now down. It's going to be about who can get the vehicles, who can get the resources, because right now you want to get your hands on everything. You want all the meds, all the guns. You want to be able to make sure that you can make it into the circle and survive for as long as necessary, because this is going to be a rough circle.
Optic is the only question mark here. They find themselves on the edge of the circle. Do they get active? Do they try and get as many kills as possible, or do they simply play to win, or in their case, play not to come in last? So for Optic Gaming, not a lot of activity the last couple of games. They've been holding on, but now is the time. They need the kills. They need to secure that top 5, that top 3 position.
And this is very similar to a couple of rough rotations we've seen from Optic and from Ghost specifically. Whenever it pushes this hard up into this northwestern area, they've been having a little bit of trouble figuring out the plots that they want to come into this. What it does favor, though, is Dignitas, Orbit, and Slime Squad. Slime Squad has been very, very sneaky inside of the leaderboard right now, and they are in a great position.
This river is going to play a factor. The circle will likely shift a little bit further south. If that does happen, you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to go above the river or below, north or south? These little choke points, things we've seen to huge effect in the last game with this circle. You can see Trigger Happy already headed that way, across the way, a similar compound to hold. Who is going to get there first? That is going to be the control points for most of this early game.
I love that Trigger Happy is moving into a position that worked so well for them last time. They managed to really gatekeep a lot of the teams. You can see Schrader's already scouting out that general vicinity. Now we're taking a look at Team Gates. These guys do have control over the area that's around school and apartments. Ton of loot. We haven't necessarily had a chance to pop in with them a lot, but this is the third place team right now. They do have to make a transition. Even being due center in the map, they are not inside the safe circle.
So for Team Gates, they've had a good couple of games. They've had a decent tournament. Their first time here. They are currently in third place, but they are in the most precarious position. Everyone is gunning for, at minimum, that third place. So little points differentiate those last top 5 teams. For Slime Squad, same position. They are currently in 4th place. They are, how far behind are they?
185 points.
185 points.
That's a few kills. That's just a couple of different placements coming out. We're bouncing back between them because they are just so close. So if you're Slime Squad right now, you have to feel it. Like, you feel like everything's starting to favor you now. Like, we don't have to transition. We get to get our loot. We don't have to worry about it. We have to just survive, and we just have to out-survive the other 3 teams.
Absolutely. So for Slime Squad, a team comprised of those players who did not find a home on some of the best pro teams, find themselves now atop some of the best pro teams. Can this unsigned team make it all the way to Berlin?
At this point, I think that's the story that everybody is really curious about. I mean, think of the glory that comes in through that. These are just some guys that were playing together. They formed a couple of months ago, and they've really been tearing up the online leaderboards. You know the ability to come through, be able to take down people like Ghost, be able to take down people like Optic, Cloud9. You know those guys that everybody watches inside of esports come up without an org and be able to make it to the World Finals. I mean, that's a dream and a story in and of itself.
Absolutely. Honeybadgernation in the same boat. They are the furthest from the current play zone. They are going to try and play this cool and easy, joining Fast Rail. They're picking each other up. They're going to try and make this first transition nice and early. They have a clear path so far. Looking at the map, you can see that they could basically travel along the top half of the military island, try and get on that southern portion of the next play zone. Again, it's really going to be about how much water stays in here. You can see Honeybadgernation likely going to come this way up into this play zone.
Look at the modification that's coming out from Tempo Storm. They are shifting way earlier than they normally do, and they're going to be driving right by the guys from Gankstars. You got BenQ5 still out in the distance over there. A little bit of separation coming through, maybe providing a little bit of stability in case their guys get taken down while they're doing the scout.
Ghost also on the move here. You can see that they've decided that they want to start their transition early, coming up this first area. So for Ghost, they're going to try and stick together. That's going to be extremely key for them. Venerated in the lead vehicle. Honeybadgernation is going to take that military island path through the southern portion of the map. Hopefully they can make it there in one piece.
We're starting to see everybody in the mass migration phase. Look at how everybody knows how important this round is. Everybody's already inside the vehicles, with the exception of essentially God Squad and Spacestation Gaming. It's just massive exodus. Everybody's just trying to get to the safe locations. Zarky is still on the table. Think about how crazy that is. We are in the last round, and Zarky is a safe location to play out of, Moses.
So Optic has gone all the way up that way. So for now, that's going to be our first kill. Trigger Happy losing cover fire. That's going to be a tough loss. The first person out of this game. Unfortunate start for them, but they still have some options as far as controlling that very important crossroads. Flyquest is there and ready to battle in the water town.
They don't have it yet. You can see that Shredded went and got that position, but the rest of the guys from Trigger Happy haven't gone up to provide any form of reinforcement at this stage. And now that we're in the transition phase, all these squads are starting to come in and clash with them. You can see off in the distance is Flyquest there. They're playing in the Badlands area. Now Trigger Happy has to figure out, okay, do we go over to where Shredded's at? We are essentially caught off in two different fights.
Yeah, for Trigger Happy, they basically need to decide that this is not the time, I think. I think it's time for them to back this off with Flyquest. No need to be taking a fight this early. They're in the zone. They are spread out. Shredded has the ability to hold onto this compound, not for long if someone decides they want to take it. And looking at the map, once again, you can see how many players are trying to take it safe. They don't want to get to those choke points. They want to come in on this area of the map. Flyquest and Ghost, Motivate, and Eunited all opting for that pathing. Team Gates also coming in around the Razak area.
And we're finally starting to see a little bit of a skirmish coming down between Tempo Storm and Gankstars. Remember, Tempo Storm is just in 6th right now, so if they go out early, that could just be a catastrophe for them. They want to survive and they want to get these kills, but these guys look like they're about 50 meters away from each other.
Absolutely. So for Tempo Storm, they have to manage this first engagement very, very well. They did get the opening frag.
That's Optic trying to make a pass off in the distance. They're heading over towards the Zarky area. Dignitas shots go a little bit wide there.
The SLR rings out from Adam, trying to get some initial downs.
Oh, Zampa's got knocked! And so this is going to be a full push coming out from Gankstars. Now it's just Teflon that's up. They have to hit these shots. Tempo Storm's trying to get something off of this. They'd have to recapitalize off in the distance. They have to keep Zampa alive. If he gets taken down, this is going to be so bad for them. Is he going to make it in time? And just barely. No, don't go forward. Don't step forward. Good Lord, Zampa. Okay, we still have Teflon on the outside of this. He knows that they're going to go for the res. He's going to flank around. Can he see BenQ5? Can your boy Dre provide the cover? This is so risky for Tempo Storm. Maluk had to shift off to the side. Zampa is back up, but he wasn't looking that direction. He's looking up the hillside. Teflon is just slowly sneaking over there. He can counterflank on it. He gets the shots over. He does get the down onto one of them. Now he's going to retreat back to his earlier position. He's just essentially playing whack-a-mole, popping up on different sides of this hill, trying to find the right way to play this. Now he's come on the outside of it. He's going to walk right into your boy Dre, who hits the shots first. It's going to be a spray onto Dre. He gets another down onto it. This is turning into a terrible position for Tempo Storm, but they can't capitalize off of it and finally do get him down.
Wow, that was almost disastrous. Looks like Tempo Storm is going to be battered, but comes across as it seemed like it was just hanging by a thread there. Teflon put himself in a position to potentially flank everyone, but just barely does Tempo Storm hang on. That's the second time we've seen a 1v4 v Tempo almost go bad.
But here's the problem. Tempo Storm is in an area where it is horrible to find loot. They took a lot of damage, took a lot of downs. How many meds do they have left? What is their armor situation looking at right now?
Absolutely. So for Tempo, they're going to have to try and recoup here. They do have some bodies to loot. How much damage they have to those vests, those helmets, those meds is going to be super important moving forward. Ghost has found a home on the top right portion of the play zone. They came in on the east. They came in as 4, and they have stopped. They have their vehicles ready to go. They're trying to trade up loot, just make sure that they're good to go for the rest of this game. The first circle shift is about to complete, another 20 or 30 seconds. Spacestation Gaming in boats. Honeybadgernation has also made it as well.
I really love the positioning that's coming out from Ghost, Tempo Storm right now. We know that the circle is going to shift away from the water at some point. So in this general vicinity between these two squads is likely where we're going to see our ending circles at. So if you can try to get a foothold here, unless we see a hard shift down to the south around Everest where Cloud9 and the rest of those guys are at, this could be the foothold that provides them the perfect opportunity just to get a lot of kills in the next transition phase.
It's super important for Ghost to play as a team, something that they haven't been able to do through the early game in a couple of these matches. This first transition after this first circle change is going to be huge for them. Optic also firing at Honeybadgernation, who are out in the Georgia Pole Bay. Optic all the way in North George now. They are split holding in the fields outside of North George, a smart hold for them. Honeybadgernation is going to have to find a way into this play zone.
This is so risky from Honeybadgernation. They are in second place right now, and you can see that the circle has now shifted straight into the Georgia Pool Bay. So that means that they're going to have to find some type of path. Those cliffs are so hard to traverse. They're already teams positioned. We were talking about it. Optic was already taking pot shots at them. They're going to have to crash into a very awkward position. They can't risk losing anybody this early, and they don't have an easy path to get anywhere.
So now it's going to be for Tempo Storm a nice pickup there. They're going to stay center. For a team like Shredded and the rest of Trigger Happy, them holding on to this little choke point would have been good if they hadn't taken so many casualties. But for the South, you can see it starting to pop off. Wildcard taking another casualty, or sorry, the first casualty of their first engagement. Tripoli going down. That southern portion of the play zone is going to light up.
Everybody's condensing down. We still have 75 people alive. So we're going to go back over to Honeybadgernation and listen into their audio.
Interested to see their game plan here.
Let's go, guys. Back out.
They managed to make a foothold. So now they're running up. They're just trying to collect information.
Go.
This is
Oh,
a
quick across the seaside, dude.
Go right. Not right now. Don't enter the buildings. Go.
No, go. On me.
Wait, where's Chris? Go, Chris.
Yeah, they're trying to stay as close together as
You take the
possible.
last two
You
apartments
can hear
on the
them
right
talking
side.
about Grizz. They're going to try and take these apartments.
I want to get two guys in here and 2 guys in green.
So and this is a great split. They're trying to hold inside of this position. You can, off in the distance, there are several squads that already do have a little bit of a foothold inside of Georgia Pool. Slime Squad is just a little bit ahead of them. You can see them off in the distance over there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they traverse through this, as Space Station Gaming is also opting into a fairly safe location. Remember, we have seen Slime Squad perform a phenomenal win in this general location, about yesterday, I believe, whenever they won that amazing 1v3.
Absolutely, and now that we've seen Honeybadgernation, most of these teams enter into the current play zone. Eunited, having circled all the way around the top, find themselves now zoning out Space Station Gaming. Not sure they're there. Or they're aware that Space Station Gaming has arrived. You can see now, and that sound indicates the shrinking of the circle once again. Now Ghost has a foothold in the next zone. They're playing the edge. No pressure on them yet. Totality dealing with Motivate. They are right on top of each other. But really now, Matchroom, for Ghost, they're playing very passively, but at least they're playing together.
I love the difference between this. You can see that Ghost knows that they've been holding on to this lead for so long, and they want to keep it, so they're playing passive. Meanwhile, Honeybadgernation, they've got their call to fame right now by just running and gunning and getting control and getting into positions. It's like 2 different styles of play just running head-to-head right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Trigger Happy and Cloud9 trading blows across these 2 critical choke points in this new play zone. So for these 2 teams, having Trigger Happy lost 1 player already, getting it down on another, Cloud9 is in position to have a great game as well, as long as they can maintain their composure. Tempo Storm, same boat. Honeybadgernation, however, has arrived right on top of Orbit inside Georgia Pool.
We have a little bit of a fight breaking out between the Totality guys over there next to the shooting range as well, as they're starting to condense down on top of each other. That's going to be Motivate taking a lot of damage there. Meanwhile, NRG caught in a long-range skirmish coming up between the guys from God Squad. Remember, we saw them exploding around earlier today. This is a very dangerous spot to take a fight. Squad versus squad, you kind of tunnel vision on each other. You're taking your shots back and forth, but all the guys down below can take some shots back up at you as well.
Snark. He's got to feel it coming from Cloud9 below. That's a kill steal for Cloud9. Nice pick up there. Pistola time, taking some shots. Taylor J does go down, now trading. Are these two teams? Another down. K-Mine looking to finish. And and they trade. The grenade comes in. And just like that, NRG is eliminated on a clutch grenade from Drassel. That was very close to being a full team wipe for God Squad, but it looks like they're going to get all their members back up, whereas NRG is eliminated 19th place.
And now we're going to get a new rotation in the circle. Look at Optic already moving towards their vehicles. They know that they need to reposition as quickly as possible. Circle pops, and instantly they take off.
Absolutely. So for Optic Gaming, they're going to shrink further down into North George, which is becoming a center point for this transition. Baja Waka taking some shots. And now it's going to be that river again. Those who are on the south side are going to have to cross most likely, but this North George area is going to absolutely pop off. Look at all these teams on top of each other. This is a huge point now for Optic, who are stuck in transition. They cannot find a place to stop, and they're getting shot at from all angles.
They do have the center of the circle, but there's just nowhere safe for them to play off of right now. You can see that they're running right over there next to Slime Squad. Everybody is opting into vehicles, trying to make sure that they can get some form of cover in this area. We've already seen a fight happen in a very similar location to this just a few rounds ago. They know how bloody it can be down there, so if they can keep their UAZs, keep their cars, maybe they can at least use them for some type of cover in these coming up circles.
I'm really liking the vision they've gained from that, but now they're on a hillside. They have Dignitas to their north, Tempo Storm to the east, and a mix of teams still in Georgia Pole. Slime Squad, however, now zoned. They were in transition across the Georgia Pole bridge. They've been attacked by Spacestation Gaming. Slime Squad, our fourth place team, losing members quickly, as actually looks like Profi's taken down Caden by accident with some fire. They are getting actually zoned by Team Gates. Very interested to see what's happening with our two top three teams.
Way off on the far eastern side of the circle, you can see on the map that it's going to be Team Gates is positioned. They've got a little bit of a foothold. They're trying to gatekeep out Ghost right now. They know that this is important. If Ghost goes down this early, that could be all she wrote for Ghost. You can see that Ghost is very aware of the situation. They're in a bad predicament, and they're trying to pull out and away. Circle is already starting to collapse down, though, so it's a race against it. No matter which way that Ghost goes, they're going to either run into Totality or Gates, and you know Gates wants these kills. If they could finish off Ghost, that almost guarantees them a position to be able to go to Berlin.
So for Caden, he is down and out, and now it's Team Gates and Ghost still tangled up on the edge of the play zone. McCoy's trying to stay cool here. They're rotating away, just trying to get away from that fight. Team Gates pressing. Team Gates is pushed all the way up. They're looking to try and take out Ghost. They know that this would be huge for them.
And I love this coming out from Gates. They're just mirroring them on the outside of it. Mossy's in a forward position over there. Long-range grenade now going to come out. Looks like the angle might be good. Distance might be a little bit short. They're just trying to throw it off and trying to buy any time they can, because the longer they can force them to stay outside and in the blue means the more damage they're going to take.
Mossy's
and even with this, they can force them to go out and around towards Totality and force Totality to kind of clean up the mess that they don't want to deal with.
That's correct. So Totality now getting involved. They can hear the shots. Totality very low on the leaderboard right now. Ghost at the very top. Ghost being zoned by two separate teams right now. This is a huge problem for them. They've already lost one player.
Watch my east. Watch my east.
So now we're listening in with Team Gates as they're trying to hunt down the guys from Ghost.
They're smoking over here. I think one of them got knocked, maybe.
I haven't seen it go. I don't know.
A nice bait smoke coming out there, buying a little bit of cover, a little bit of confusion coming out from Team Gates. Not exactly sure why it's going down right now.
Watch these. Watch these. South.
So for Team Gates, they have zoned them completely. You can hear them. They're watching that eastern side. Now Totality's getting involved with Ghost. The initial down goes to Profi. This is going to be huge for them. Venerated taking a lot of damage. He will go down. Totality now trading. Interrogate is downed in turn. Profi, McCoy having to hold this down for themselves. The smoke come down. Los HD and the rest of the Totality squad are a little bit further behind. Slime Squad also getting involved late, off the map from Nova. Totality now getting a kill on Venerated. Matchroom, this is horrible for Ghost.
Next circle has popped, and it's just right around the corner, so they don't have to push too far. They just have to survive. They do a hard run over towards the airplane. Taro does go down. As you can see, it's going to pop up on McCoy's screen. He's just trying to get some more information right now as both teams are just trying to to play in that divot that gets cut whenever the plane crashes there.
Seen.
Profi goes down. McCoy is super low on life right now. All the pressure's coming out. Totality really wants to step up. They could be the undoers of Ghost at this point and deny them the chance to go to Berlin.
Gates is arriving on scene as well. They do steal the kill from Totality, so Profi has been eliminated. Ghost now down to just one. Purdy looking to finish. They're going for it. The nades are about to come out. Purdy wants this. Totality with nothing left to lose, looking to eliminate the first place team with the third place team coming in behind.
Meanwhile, we also do see Slime Squad is taking a lot of damage. That's our fourth place team, losing member after member, involved in another fight with Honeybadgernation. Purdy's going to retreat back. Our last guy from Ghost is just cowering right now inside of the remains of the airplane. As long as nobody looks his direction, he's just going to hide out there for now. The guys from Tempo Storm actually do have control over the circle right now, as well as Optic and Dignitas.
So for Ghost, they're going to have to play 100% passive, as Smithy also going down to a TK. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but McCoy, however, is stuck in one spot. Team Gates has backed off their approach. So for Tempo Storm, they find themselves in the center of the play zone.
We can bring up just the map for one moment. You can see that Trigger Happy is about to do a hard push right onto the guys from Wildcard, doing a long flank on the outside. Flyquest is just chilling off in the distance. Meanwhile, Optic just has person after person crashing around them as Nova is just driving right by Valiant. Valiant does manage to get the knockdown onto it, but there's so many people in the far western area. The guys from Honeybadgernation, you can see the kill feed is just exploding right now as it's Spacestation Gaming caught up in a fight with Eunited, caught up in a fight with Nova, caught up in a fight with Optic, caught up in a fight with Honeybadgernation.
It's crazy on that western side of the play zone. Meanwhile, Dignitas just holding strong, not wanting to get involved.
Right back behind.
Optic right at the stage where they can translate. But look at this. This is insane.
Like
Slime Squad right behind Richie.
Surely you have to see this, buddy. They're not making any sound. There he goes. Surprise. He finally gets him. He's like, ha, okay, I knew you were there.
Wow.
Gonna get the knock onto it. And that's gonna be Richie going down. Now just gonna be Landoon up.
So Motivate also getting eliminated. Look at that whole western side of the play zone. Optic's in a great spot to play Gatekeeper. Spacestation Gaming, Eunited still on top of each other as Nova goes down. Honeybadgernation still picking up kills. This is a great game for them. Slime Squad is eliminated. That's really terrible for them.
Honeybadgernation, and that is huge for the leaderboard right now. Ghost still hiding up on the top of it. Tempo Storm is coming alive in the center of this. And finally, we're seeing Optic just go crazy. They're killing so many people around
This is huge.
Cloud9 is taking so much damage on that. That's another kill going over towards Tempo.
So for these two teams, Optic and Honeybadgernation, this is Optic's key to break into the top three. If they can take out this team, that would be massive for them. The circle is pressing them. Optic is ready to take this fight. Honeybadgernation coalescing, ready to rock and roll. For Orbit and Space Station Gaming, they have the high side flanks. Honeybadgernation is trapped.
Tempo Storm and Optic are in 6th and 7th respectively. They need this round. You can tell that they want to get it, and they're caught in a fight. If Optic can kill all those people off on their side and Tempo can kill all of them on the other side of it, we could be looking at a crazy leaderboard. They have the positioning to pull it off right now.
Honeybadgernation now turning their sights onto Space Station Gaming, who gets the initial down onto Optic. Flyquest also getting involved elsewhere, but this whole area is absolutely critical. Who wins this segment could ultimately punch their ticket to Berlin. Honeybadgernation needs to make the zone. Optic is there to catch them.
And see, popping over here with Flyquest now as they're right next to Trigger Happy, trying to get a little bit more information. Doing a flyby on Optic, you can see that they're trying to look up the hillside. Now we're seeing Space Station Gaming taking some shots down at Honeybadgernation. This is turning real bad for them as it's another down coming through. It's just Wick again, all by his lonesome, having to run away from his teammates.
Wick now, again, the game on his shoulders. He has to have a good showing here. This could be disastrous. They need to get a top 5 to secure that spot at the very least. I mean, for now, Space Station Gaming is playing spoilers. Optic Gaming moving away as well. This zone is centered, and the shift, again, we wait.
We can see that Tempo Storm Optic still holding a great position right now, kind of protecting everybody. Everybody else is forced to play along the edge except for Dignitas, who's holding the far northern position from him. Cloud9 has now been eliminated. Nice shots coming out from the guys from Space Station, with Vexel getting a down and a kill there, eliminating Eunited. Now it's just a matter of how do you make your way inside of the safe circle.
So now for Honeybadgernation, they have not lost those down players just yet. However, Wick is in no position to do anything. So for these teams, Honeybadgernation specifically, they are still completely zoned. Spacestation Gaming now pressing down the hillside. Optic choosing to take the compound. This is going to be an open field ending. Tempo Storm still holding strong. Timid is finished. Only one left for Honeybadgernation.
There's a couple of hills that they can play around, but we've seen Wick have to be by himself beforehand. Spacestation does spot him out. They're starting to take some shots at him. He's trying to survive. Orbit actually comes to save him. McCoy's trying to get out of this.
He's in the blue.
He knows the fact that he can't really have any easy path. It's just shots. The guys at the top of the leaderboard are under so much trouble right now. That's going to be, looks like, I think that Ghost is just right on the outside of this, running back behind,
in the blue.
trying to make it in. He's taking so much damage. He has to stop every couple of feet, try to get the health up. I think he's going to be able to make it for this, but how many med kits does he have? Looked like 3. So he's going to have to take a couple of shots, move forward, take a couple of shots, move forward.
There's nothing he can do. He just needs to med and sneak into the zone. The circle continues to shrink.
Oh, Wick is down!
Wick is down. That means that's an 11th place finish for Honeybadgernation. It looks like McCoy is likely going to die to the zone. He's taking way too much damage. He doesn't have enough first aids. He has to bandage. McCoy is in trouble. Ghost is looking like they could potentially go in 10th place. For now, it's all about Optic holding onto one of the best spots in the zone. Tempo Storm also has a good spot.
He got that heal off just in time. He's got to buy about another 50 meters of movement. It's just a race against the circle at this point. You can see the circle is still trying to close down. He's just tailing back behind it.
He's in
buying
trouble.
a couple of spaces here. Team Gates still in a great position. He gets ahead of it just barely. McCoy's running out, but it's Gates right there. Those are the guys in 3rd place. They don't see him. He gets it down onto one of them. He doesn't have time to med, but that's going to force all of them to turn. Can he make it over to a safe spot?
Oh, he's in trouble. Ghost is in trouble. He's got to be spotted. Gates knows he's there. He made the zone. He has to bandage. He needs those meds on that dead body desperately. CeeLo now pushing up, looking, or he's actually pushing down away. Ben Q reaches out and grabs McCoy. Ghost going down in 10th place.
So with this, we have our 1st and 2nd place team already out. Team Gates is still up and alive. Optic is in a great position for this circle. Tempo Storm is coming alive, getting tons of kills inside of it. Spacestation Gaming is trying to go out of this swinging as they're just stepping down this hillside, taking shot after shot at 7 kills already.
So for Spacestation Gaming, they are playing with nothing left to lose. Orbit also down the leaderboard, but it is actually, I believe, God Squad on top of the hill as well. Lots of lines of sight onto Spacestation Gaming. Orbit trading with them now. Spacestation Gaming looking to try and get some smokes and the res, trying to make something of this last game, but oh my God, Ghost and Honeybadgernation going down so early is huge for a team like Tempo Storm and Team Gates, who are in position to take a controlling position in the top 3.
And now we have the circle starting to advance. You can see God Squad's trying to figure out how they want to make that push. 8 seconds before everybody has to run out. On the southern area of the circle, we have God Squad trying to figure out how they're going to make it in. We've got Flyquest trying to figure out how they're going to push. Tempo Storm is no longer inside the circle. They're caught up in a little bit of a skirmish with the guys from Team Gates. Really, it's just Optic that has a good foothold right now, as well as Totality. A lot of shots now coming over in the northern area of the circle. As we can see, it's going to be Dignitas and Spacestation Gaming. We're all on top of Orbits.
Optic is also taking damage. It's God Squad pressing on top of their compound. Now for Orbit and Spacestation Gaming, Dignitas has also arrived. They want a piece of this action. SSG taking it to Dignitas. 1 down, 2 down, finished. Now they're trading up. Spacestation Gaming shooting down, and Dignitas turns it around and says, no thank you. Spacestation Gaming is eliminated.
We still have one member from Orbit, Kid Cody, looking back that direction. Everybody's managed to make it to some form of safety, except for Pat Caps. He's taking some damage on this. Valley is trying to survive. Optic is now down and out from a push from multiple angles. Pistola Time is now up, trying to make it over towards his friend, but he can't quite do it.
So for Pat Caps, he's not going to make it, but for Pistola Time, he did clutch for his team. Optic is eliminated in 8th place. That's horrible for them. I believe they were in 6th place coming into this game.
But can we go to the southwestern or southeastern area of the circle? As Tempo Storm now in a good position. They have 2 different squads coming on down on top of them at the direct time. They could be within touching distance of that top 3. They're just trying to play for survival, as Dignitas looks like they're still trying to come over here and they're going to finish off.
Flyquest getting the initial downs onto Zampa and Maluk. You can see now that Tempo Storm is in trouble. It's going to be up to only Sharky. I believe he's by himself pushing. Yes, CZ's getting res.
Yeah. You can see BenQ5 is trying to make a run out of it. So it's a 3v1 at the direct time. They're just trying to run ahead of the circle. Team Gates does have line of sight in this general vicinity. No, your boy Dre is up as well, but already lost his helmet. They're going to have to crest over this. It's BenQ5. He's got the AK. He could deal the damage. He gets the shots onto one of them. Down. Looking for the next one, trying to get it. He goes down. Can your boy Dre provide any form of cover from his position? I don't think he has a clear line of sight.
And
he gets taken down from the outside of this. Tempo Storm is now down and out. Team Gates still alive at this point.
Team Gates is now in a position, I believe, to have secured their spot to Berlin. For the rest of these teams, Totality, one of the second page teams here, still trying to make a go of it. Pistola Time also getting some kills on the Flyquest, who do go out in 5th place. Now it's going to be God Squad, Dignitas, and Team Gates. Dignitas, if they have a good showing here, could jump up the leaderboards.
I think at this point, it's about how long can Team Gates survive. They're doing such a good job of playing different angles. Dig has really come alive in this last game. They're stepping out, taking shots, getting controls of territory. You can see God Squad on a lot of trouble down there. Oh, but did they? Yeah, it looks like they managed to see Totality over there. If we get a third-party fight happen with Dignitas and Totality, that could just allow Team Gates to reposition quite easily.
Dignitas has nowhere to go. They have no cover in front of them. A lot of utility has already been used. You can see Uncivil taking shots with that Car 98 at a transitioning Totality, who just trying to get a small foothold in the zone. For Team Gates, however, 2 left standing. They are spread out. They're just trying to figure out how they're going to make their way into this next circle. They have to be feeling good at this stage, but it's not over yet.
Well, you have to deal with the information that you've got. Dignitas knows that there are 3 people, 8 people alive, so 5 people out there. They don't have any idea on how many squads. They think it might be a 4-man. It could be a couple of duos, exactly what we're looking at right now, with one solo hanging out with Pistola Time. Pistola Time has his work cut out for him, though, as he's going to have to run across a wide open field. There is nothing left to play around, just a couple of trees, so that's why the smokes are now coming out. Everybody's just trying to buy themselves as much breathing room as they can.
Absolutely. So for Dignitas, in position to move into the circle, they have their utility at the ready. Team Gates in the same spot. They keep taking little circle tick damage. Team Gates just trying to find a way in here. Los HD with that scope, trying to figure out who's moving and where. Dignitas still on the move. They're trying to secure a win here.
They're looking up and taking shots, and it looks
somebody.
like they do get a connect. That's going to be CeeLo going down. Team Gates under a lot of trouble right now, popping back and forth on top of this. You can see that Tempo Storm, Totality is in a position, looking back down towards Pistola Time. So Dignitas does manage to get their foothold in. CeeLo down. Mortify is actually outside of the circle right now, tanking blue damage, just trying to survive. Nice shots coming out from the guys from Dignitas. Adam is not letting anybody crest into any part of this open field.
Good utility usage. They're trying to buy themselves time. Mortify, the last man standing from Team Gates. Pistola Time medding in the blue. He's not. Oh, he may be able to make it. Purdy does get taken down from Mortify. Mortify going down to the zone. Team Gates is out in 4th place, and now it's a 3-way fight. Totality, Dignitas, and the last man standing, Pistola Time.
Pistola Time managed to survive. He is dropped down in position. It looks like the guys from Dignitas know where he's at. You can see the Kobe being cocked. Throws it out there. Is it going to connect?
It doesn't
looks like it might be a little bit wide on the outside there. So he's going to be able to survive through that right now. Really, we might have a chance to see Totality kind of play around this. They have the circle, they have the control, they have a hill, but they are not yet inside the circle. They're going to have to step out, and actually Totality does get line of sight on
Pistola Time. Yeah, that's it for them. So now it's a 3v2 situation. Totality, only pride on the line. Dignitas trying to get as many kills as possible. The maximum they can get is 9. Totality looking for the same. They're getting pressure from these last remaining members of Dignitas. It's all up to them to try and finish this game off. They don't quite have the zone just yet, but down goes Los HD. Totality looking to try and defend this. Dignitas swarming, trying to finish. Matchroom, it's down to the wire.
You can see that Purdy is in no spot to get in a position to defend. Tries to go for the peak.
Not
Shots come
happen.
out, and Dignitas takes our final round. I gotta say, solid performance coming out from all of the guys there, but really, Moses, the leaderboard.
Wow.
What is gonna happen with the leaderboard?
I mean, I'm sure there's people in the chat that are doing the quick math right now, but we don't have a full picture as to what's going to happen with Ghost. I think we can say for sure that Team Gates is going to take one of those spots. But the question is now, I mean, at this point, they might get first. You're absolutely right. That could be a $32,000 pickup for them. But for teams like Ghost, Wildcard, Slime Squad, we're going to have to figure that portion out. I think Ghost maybe have done enough with that 10th place finish, but we'll have to find out.
They had the breathing room beforehand. It slowly degraded. So now, at this point, I got to say, on behalf of myself and Moses here, that's our final round.
Thank you, guys.
We will see you guys in an event here really soon. But guys at the analyst desk, please tell us who wins.
No.
We're going to do that in just a minute, Matchroom. But before we do, let's talk about this 12th and final game. Yeah. Dignitas finally finally coming through with a win.
Amen. And I'm going to give it to Cameron because I know he's been touting Dignitas since day one. And I know that everybody's screaming, give us the winner, but we want to make sure the math is right because this is the craziest we've ever seen it, right? Like,
absolutely.
It's insanely close, so we're going to take
another
our time.
Unique winner.
Yeah, and let's honor the guys who still came out with the win because they worked hard for it. Dignitas.
Yeah, but it's a great win for them, but a little bittersweet because it really kind of did become too late. We were talking about them. We knew that they were playing well throughout the first 2 days, especially. Just if only a couple more moments went their way, they could be perhaps at the top of the leaderboard. Today, though, it didn't come out to them. They were finally able to pull it together, though.
Yeah, they were a dark horse coming into this for a lot of us, right?
That's true.
They did good at DreamHack. They've been on the upswing. I think that they've got some really great players. We saw Adam really step up in this one. We saw Bookie step up recently and sort of improve his play significantly. So I think in the future, I want to see this roster stay together and continue to grind. But like you said, too little too late.
Hopefully, though, them ending on a high note, even though this is most likely the end of the road for them at PGI, hopefully them ending here will give them the confidence to stick together further in because they are still a relatively new roster. I really hope they don't try and blow things up off of just
Speaking of confidence, I want to talk about God Squad because this is a team that honestly I sincerely believe I know for a fact they got 15 kills in the last game.
Yes.
I believe they may have had the biggest impact on who goes to Berlin today because they won that one game. They eliminated Tempo Storm in 19th place. They kept taking out favorites one after another, and in their games that they did well, they just crushed. So I think this is a team that really had a huge impact.
God Squad 100% came to play today, and so did Tempo Storm, as we're going to take you to a replay of Tempo wiping Gankstars. This is unfortunate for Gankstars, their first lay-in tournament, and we see them running across a violent Tempo's team.
Unfortunate, but Teflon, we got to see him really show off his skill level as he actually almost outplayed Tempo Storm completely. A slow walk around the smoke, you can even see it. He's going for the res, and you see him make a really smart, long rotation around to get information, get a knock, and then rotate all the way back. So the patience of Teflon here was absolutely incredible. It did, of course, mean that, you know, Daz was sort of left to the wolves, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sacrifices have to be made.
Well, this is just kind of a story of Tempo's, you know, PGI run here during the finals, right? Cameron, I know we were talking a little bit about how we were used to seeing Tempo play a lot more clean than we've been seeing him play in this tournament run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I'm at a loss for words for.
It's a disappointment because they are a perennial North American team. We expect to do well, but they kept getting caught out early in these kind of situations, losing resources, losing meds, losing helmets, and it's hard to bounce back from that. This final circle was a range final circle. You need to have your helmets, you need to have your med kits, you need to be ready to bounce back, and because of those fights early, they kept finding themselves struggling to do that.
Absolutely. Well, we have another replay to show you from this last game. God Squad versus NRG.
These guys are fire. I mean, the way that they hit their shots, they hit some great snipes to force NRG to close range, and then they just hit, like, the dream grenade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew God Squad coming into this are definitely a lot stronger on the micro side of it compared to the macro, and you can see it right here. We saw it as well in the game when they got 19 kills. Just that final nade at the end. This was a really close fight as well.
PatCap saved his entire team there.
Yeah, absolutely. Drassel, the last remaining member up, is able to get the res on all of his players. But yeah, and once again, another team just kind of like Tempo, NRG. Big expectations coming in. Maybe not the best tournament, but we will see how they adjust to this LAN afterwards. But right now, we want to take you to an interview with our Game 12 winners, Dignitas.
Dignitas getting the final win, their first win of the tournament. We saw, 11 unique victors, only one team getting 2. I'm here with Gustav and Adam. Coming into this final match, you guys knew you hadn't had a win under your belt yet. What was your mentality coming in? What were the tactics? Did you just throw all sheets to the wind and just go all in?
I mean, we found all long-range scopes that game, and through the entire tournament, I think we've been playing a little bit too passive. So that game, it was last game, we were just like, we're going to push everything. And I think we pushed Orbit and SSD, and we just wiped them. And from there, we had so much control.
Talking about the mid game, I'm going to ask you, Adam. Those first couple circles, it was kind of mayhem. A lot of teams wanting to play passive and hold those top 3 spots. So you saw a lot of those top teams wanting to play safe and kind of getting taken out early on. I don't know if you guys noticed it in the kill feed, but those mid-game circles around like 2 to 5 before it got to the end game, just kind of walk us through. What were your ideas? What were your tactics to try and get around all the firefights?
I think we realized, you know, early and to towards mid-game that a lot of the teams were going to play passive because, you know, the points were so close and they had to get the highest placement that they could. And so we kind of realized that, and we wanted to play more aggressive. And when we saw people getting knocked, you know, around us from hearing the shots and such, we decided to push them. And so I think we did a really good job at taking advantage of that.
And then the final push into that field, you guys knew you just wanted as much information as possible. So I noticed that you guys were like, you threw some smoke, so you took the middle of the field. Were you confident that you knew where everybody was? Did you think there were some stragglers that might not have been on screen?
We actually thought that there was 2 guys south and 1 north. But then we saw the guy south got killed, and we were like, okay, we have 2 guys north. We started smoking. I had like 8 smokes, I think, so we're just going crazy. And that was like the only reason why we could play in the field was because we had that many smokes.
All right, well, Gustav, Adam, congratulations on your victory. You guys took the final win. I'm going to throw it back to the analyst desk before we figure out exactly who's going to be stamping their ticket to Berlin.
Well, guys, we are not going to make you wait very long. We have our top 3 waiting in the wings. What do they get? Well, let's remind them one more time what this top 3 positions earn, not only in terms of going to Berlin for the PGI finals, but in terms of cold, hard cash money.
Go ahead.
No, I think PGI finals is probably the best prize out of the top 3, but granted, 32K for first, 24 for second, and 18K for third. It's a pretty big chunk of change nonetheless.
It's a lot of churros.
And a guaranteed payout in PGI, right? Like, same idea. You go and come in last there, you still make some good money, and I guarantee these guys are probably top 10.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we are ready to go. We are going to throw you now to Finable Carpet, who is going to tell us who has come in third place.
Who is it, guys? Who is our third place team?
It's your job.
Our third place team going to Berlin is going to be Honeybadgernation.
Underdogs coming into this tournament and just absolutely blowing things out of the water. We have a package of highlights to show while we talk about this team. But guys, what stuck out to you most about this team?
So what I love about this is that they came in off the qualifiers winning their lobby in round 3. That you don't win off of a fluke. You see the frags here right now. Wick especially going absolutely ham right now. But you don't win your qualifier off of a fluke, but there always is going to be a question of, can you deliver at the next stage? And you can see right now, these guys absolutely did so.
They came to play, and they came to play aggressive. Now, I do want to say a lot of this. I need to see one adjustment for Berlin. Wick's back has got to be killing him because he worked hard. He did, and not to be a jerk, but he worked hard to get them here. The rest of the team needs to sit down and say, okay, how do we support him aggressively, but how do we get more than one person into those sort of final 5 every time? These guys played great. Wick played out of his mind. That double grenade 10K game is basically what got them here, and now I want to see how they take that next step.
Just clean up those rotations and
clear rotations. That's the biggest one.
The rotations from Novo, definitely a strong, a big influencing factor on how they're going to perform once they get to Berlin. But guys, now we are going to take it back to Finable Carpet, who is going to tell us who came in second place.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place team getting the first victory of the weekend, Ghost Gaming.
Have a team that finishes in first place
for the first time.
For the first time that they've been in first place.
That's actually true, yeah. But Ghost, though, you got to give it to them. They came in incredibly strong with essentially a new roster of their own. First time they ever played together were in the scrims leading up to the games. What an amazing performance. This, if anything, shows just how strong these players are.
They're strong, and I want to give them props. But again, they are a super team. This is sort of like, you know, merging a couple of the best players. I mean, it is merging some of the best players in North America into a really strong squad. And they came out day one, insane. You watch that Caden headshot. This whole section is like the Caden show.
Yeah.
Caden, I don't know what he did. He woke up day one ready to play. He carried that team and really helped them out. And they fell off a little bit, but they came back today. They had 2 good, solid games, and it was good to see them bounce back. That was my biggest fear for them.
While that is true, Ghost being one of the only North American teams to win at a LAN event so far, I gotta believe that even though they take second place here with 2 subs, they would much rather have their full team ready to play for them at Berlin. They would rather have their shot caller Balak back. They'd rather have Turtle back.
I'm sure
appreciating
Caden and don't feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely appreciating the effort from their friends from Envy, the 2 subs that were able to come in and help them earn this second spot. But still, at the end of the day, you want to have their full team together. But enough of all that. We have a first place winner for you today, taking home $32,000 and a spot for PGI Invitational in Berlin. Tell us who it's going to be, Final Carpet.
You took all my hype lines, but let's just get straight to it. Your first place team, Team Gates. All right, boys. So you're able to actually pull it off. You guys took a little while to get your first win, all right? But what was your mentality after you got that first win, trying to get forward through the rest of the days? Just after that first win, you know you were coming into this day, day 3. Yeah. Coming into the 3rd day, how did it, you know, what kind of things did you want to tackle? What kind of things were you trying to get rid of? Any things you wanted to fix from your previous performances?
All right. So after we got our first win, that's when we found out we're comfortable. We know we can do it. Basically, it's just up to us, nothing else. I'm a big believer in focusing on us first and nothing next year, not what other people are doing, what's happening with our team, what the score is, what the leaderboard is, and we did just that. And another big proponent of what we do is consistency. So we had a 19th place in the third series, the second game, but we didn't let that deter us. So we ended up getting a second and a 4th there. And then, to be honest, all I care about is Berlin. And to get first is just icing on the cake right now.
I mean, $32,000 on top of that, so I'm sure that feels pretty good. I want to talk to you. You seem pretty hyped when you're coming up to it. Let me catch the back of this jersey. Mossy. All right. I don't recognize your face. I apologize. Yeah, okay. So performances overall, all around. Let's just go through halfway through today, right? You have 2 matches in. You guys know you're getting a little bit closer to the top. Yeah. Did your tactics change at all? Did you guys want to like revert back to how you'd always performed, or you just want to just go all out?
We didn't really change anything, honestly. We just stick to the game plan, and we played edge and we bumped when we needed to, and just we done what we had to do.
Did what you had to do. Yeah. That's about it. Does anyone have any good final words you want to say?
Well played by every single team here.
Yeah.
Seriously. GG's to everyone, man.
Yeah.
You guys did terrific. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. You guys have actually performed incredibly. Congratulations on your victory. Your ticket to LAN, you guys did an incredible job, $32,000 as well. And I believe that's going to be it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your North American champions. And don't forget to tune in to the Berlin showing. It's going to be not too long from now, and you guys get to fly there, so we'll see you then.
Lungs out. Three more. That's one. 3 more.
Keep crawling if you can. Dash is sweet. He doesn't dash. Watch the rock. He's on again. The rock. Push it out. Fighting. Nice! Let's go! Good shit, boys. Let's go.